Hello, gentle viewers, and welcome to another episode of Alistair Reviews It. And today we are going to be reviewing Wonder Woman 1984, the highly anticipated sequel to Wonder Woman 2017, directed and co-written by Patty Jenkins and starring Miss Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot? Gal
Yes.
Gadot.
This is the 84th installment of the highly successful Wonder Woman franchise.
It might actually be because of like little movies and stuff.
No, it is not the 84th Wonder Woman, Alistair.
Plot.
Okay, you can even introduce me if I just.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just here to be.
Wait. So
He just looks at me and says plot. Okay, so Wonder Woman is about.
1 second. For those of you who do not know, this is my husband, Zachary Garcia, and 2.5 years ago, we used to do movie reviews on this channel.
Yeah.
And then we stopped for about 2.5 years because I went on deployment, and then other stuff came up, and then the pandemic happened, so we couldn't do movie reviews. And
Why couldn't we do movie reviews? There were plenty of movies to watch and plenty of time for us to do movie reviews. So.
Zachary, stop trying to cancel out my excuses. My excuses are valid. And anyways, plot.
I think I should note first that Alistair is more into the superhero movies than I am. I am a casual superhero movie fan. Casual Marvel fan, casual DC fan. So I'm not as privy to I'm not as knowledgeable as on all the lore. So if I sound stupid, it's because I am. Wonder Woman 1984 is about Diana Wonder Woman. So she is living in the United States in the 1980s. She's exiled from her homeland? I don't know. She don't live in her little homeland anymore. What is her homeland called? The Mystica?
Themyscira.
Mascara. See?
Themyscira. Themyscira.
Real DC fans are clicking off right now. They're like, this bullshit. But Alistair,
Dislike.
Alistair is the superhero fan, so he will keep me in check. Yeah, but Diana's, living in the United States. She's working at the Smithsonian, and she is curating. She works, curating ancient artifacts, and an ancient artifact comes into not her possession, but into her place of work. It is called the Dreamstone. She also works with Kristen Wiig, and there's this guy named Max Lord who's like a failed businessman, and the Dreamstone kind of starts to create a little bit of havoc among those three and just the greater world in general. And Wonder Woman's job is to set everything right.
Save the day.
Save the day.
Save the day, just like any other
That's what
superhero.
do. Yeah, okay.
And then first off, for this review, we're going to be doing a spoiler-free portion, which is this. And then we're going to be doing a spoilery talk towards the end. It'll be all marked on the screen and in the description box below. Yeah. So
if you're bored of this, just skip to the spoiler part.
So what was your first impression?
So Wonder Woman, the original Wonder Woman, I loved that movie so much. I thought we saw it in a drive-through, or a drive-in movie, and it was one of the better superhero movies. I thought,
especially a female superhero movie, because it wasn't a thing. You'd all have female superhero side characters, but
I think Black Widow is long overdue for a superhero, for her own standalone movie, and they didn't give her that. And here comes Wonder Woman taking that spot of the really first big mainstream recent female superhero movie, and it was an amazing movie. It was it was an achievement in storytelling and visual effects, all of it.
Success.
I think a lot of the Marvel movies, in my opinion, a lot of them seem very much the same, and I think Wonder Woman just came in, and DC wasn't doing all that great at the time, and so Wonder Woman came in and really just made her mark. And so with this one, I went into it with some high hopes. I mean, you always expect the sequel to either best or live up to the original, and I don't think it did. I had slight disappointment, but I always judge a movie based on how I'm feeling leaving the movie, and it left me feeling. I had such a good feeling, such a warm feeling watching that movie, and when I walked away from it, I was happy with it.
No. I really enjoyed it, actually. So I had heard some comments before. I had to mute some stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
because people were bashing it pretty hard, and I actually went into this movie thinking I was not going to like it and I was going to be completely disappointed, but it surprised me at every turn. Like I was surprised by Kirsten Wiig. I thought Kirsten Wiig did an excellent job.
I thought she did, yeah.
And I did not expect it because when they casted Kirsten Wiig, I was like, what is this going to look like? an SNL skit or something. But she does great. I think she balances comedy and drama in a very good way, and she was a believable character for me.
I liked her, and I liked Pedro Pascal too as Max Lord. I thought he did.
I thought he did.
I thought all
well.
of the principal cast did very, very well here. I mean, it's no secret that Chris Pine is back, and oh my gosh, why even bring him back? It just like
it just hurts you inside.
It always hurts because you just look at him and you're like, oh, I love them.
But they
love them
balance out
together.
so well.
They balance each other out really well. But I mean, so you brought up a good point about Twitter, and I had to mute everything about Wonder Woman 1984 on Twitter as well because people, and even after the movie, I still have it muted because everybody is just so negative and so toxic about it right now. Like, I don't understand why we can't just let people enjoy a movie. You either enjoy it or you don't, but what is the point in bashing it to hell? And bashing other people who enjoy it as well. I just don't get it, and I had to mute it all because I didn't want it to affect, my enjoyment of the film. I thought it was, God, 2020 has been rough, y'all. Like, it was great escapism, and
it was.
That's how I treated it, and so
it was an event.
Twitter
felt like
to
an
hell
event.
with you.
It felt like a really fun event that we haven't had in a while.
Yeah.
And we sat down, we watched it. I had a really good time. I get some of the complaints that people lobbied at him.
It's not a perfect movie by any means, but
overall, it's great.
It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable.
I cried a couple times.
I would say it's worth the watch. It's definitely it's a little too long. 2.5 hours is pretty long for this movie. I think it could have capped it about 2 hours and done its work.
I think it could have been longer.
But it was enjoyable. Am I racing out to watch it again? Probably not for a little bit. It did make me want to go back and rewatch the original, so I do want to go do that. But I would say give it a watch.
Because I watched the original before watching it. Because
Yeah.
Zachary was busy with work, and I was like, well, I want to watch. I want to pregame this Wonder Woman, and I liked it, and I really loved the. Actually, but I think we should just segue. I think this is a good place to segue on.
This
into
is where we're
spoiler
saying
free.
this. We
Spoilery.
both recommend watching it. Go ahead and go check it out.
Make your own decisions about this film.
Is the end of the spoiler-free portion of the video. If you have not seen Wonder Woman 1984 yet, or if you don't want to hear any spoilers, just click off of it. And yeah, let's go into Let's go into the next portion.
So I want to say, starting out the movie, I thought the movie started out on such a high note with that race.
Well,
Themyscira?
It opens with like a young Diana, a child Diana, competing in this athletic competition in the Mysteria.
Themyscira.
The Mysteria. Okay.
It's like it's not a gladiator competition, but
It looks like it, but it's an athletic competition. It is for
horseback
warriors. It's like a
riding.
warriors competition, and
Yeah.
there's this huge dome.
But then they have to jump outside of the dome.
Like not a dome. It's an arena. It's an arena, and then they have to go outside the arena and go on horseback through like beaches, across hills, and like there's all these different checkpoints as they go. And young Diana, little child Diana, is competing against these grown women, and they all look really, really badass.
They're all like, they look like athletes.
Yeah.
And you have this young Diana, and you're like, I don't know how Diana's gonna do. But then at the same time, you're like, Diana's like the daughter of Zeus, so...
And she did really, really well, and I thought that whole sequence was really, really nice. It was really exciting, too, so there's not a lot of really, like... The movie is a little slower paced. You would expect a lot more action for the 2 hour and 30-minute runtime, and this, like, set those expectations, because it's such, like, a high-energy opening scene.
So you think the pacing was lacking a little bit after that?
Not after that. After a couple other moments, but it's just you open with this scene and you expect the rest of the movie to hit those same sort of peaks, and it doesn't. This really, really worked for me.
I would say that there was actually two opening scenes, because you have that, and it's a big action scene.
Yeah.
And then it leads into a not a bank robbery, jewelry heist in the mall. and like a 1980s mall, and
So we have the young Diana's opening, and then we have up to date and
we have
for
the
1980s
Gal
Diana
Gadot
opening.
Diana's opening,
Yeah.
which I liked too. I thought it was it just felt like it felt classic superhero, saving people from like bank robbers,
Yeah, I did like that, and I liked all the stunts in it, and Wonder Woman felt like a superhero amongst man. Everybody was in awe of her, which is weird because here she's like in the mall scene, everybody's sort of in awe of her, but then later on, she's kind of just like moseying down the street or like running down the street, and nobody's giving her a second look.
It's kind of odd because you'd think that like, oh my gosh, this
My
woman
eyes are
dressed
beyond
like
her
this.
all the time. Yeah.
No, because I think Gal Gadot is for me she is Wonder Woman. She looks so stunning.
She is stunning.
She looked so stunning, and then enter Kirsten Wiig.
Well,
And
hold on. So during the athletic competition with the young Diana, there is a point where she is about to throw. So I think the final task that she's supposed to do is throw like
a javelin
a spear through a ring, and she's about to do it, and her aunt stops her because young Diana skipped one of the checkpoints and took a shortcut, and so you get this kind of theme of like cheating and taking a shortcut, and sort of correcting that wrong.
And it kind of pervades the rest of the film. Not pervades it, but it's there for the rest of the film. Yeah.
I thought it was. I've heard other people say that kind of went nowhere, but I thought it went somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little later.
And then enter Kirsten Wiig as
Barbara Minerva.
Dr. Barbara Minerva. And at first she was giving me real Melissa McCarthy.
I could have seen Melissa McCarthy in that opening outfit for Kristen.
Yes. And the way she was acting, I was like, I felt it. You know how like I don't know. It just seemed like a very classic Melissa McCarthy scene because Barbara Minerva is a very likable character.
I like her.
The person that you'd want to be friends with. She's the person who'd bake cookies and bring it to work for everybody.
I've seen a lot of people like a big criticism with it is that she follows the same trope of like the supervillain origin story where they have glasses and they're kind of the nerd, the science nerd, and then they turn into a badass. Well, I never get tired of that trope, so I guess I'm not the person to ask about that, but I enjoyed it and I liked her.
I liked it.
Yeah, I definitely could see Melissa McCarthy in there, but Melissa McCarthy would she would have like fallen and hit her knee or like dropped her suitcase. I'm like, gosh, I'm okay.
We also forget that Melissa McCarthy is actually a pretty good dramatic actress, and
Oh gosh. Okay.
Kirsten Stewart.
Kirsten Stewart.
What am I even talking about right now?
Kristen Stewart is in this movie, everybody. Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? We just watched that holiday movie. Kirsten Wiig, I thought, again, did an excellent job about being comedic and then like getting out of her Barbara Minerva mentality and into more of a cheetah mentality throughout the film.
She's a little goofier when she is just Barbara Minerva, and she's a lot more likable, a lot more warm. And there's a part where Diana remarks how funny she is, but I don't think we saw that.
Well, we saw her be funny before because I think so one of the this goes into it. The twist of the movie is the stone is the wish stone. You make a wish and the wish comes true, but it takes something your most valuable, the thing that's most valuable to you, it takes it away.
Yeah.
And I think for Diana looking at Barbara, what Barbara had is she had she had comedy. She had that different kind of
she had a warmness
character
and a humanity.
that Diana doesn't have.
Humanity is the word, the key word here. Is Barbara Minerva had humanity, and so when she wishes on the stone, she wishes to be more confident and sexy, and just like Diana, she wishes to be like Diana, and in turn, the stone takes her humanity little by little.
The thing that's most
Diana
valuable.
wishes for. So we've got three main people making a wish on this that kind of sets the movie off. So Barbara Minerva wishes to be like Diana. Diana wishes for her long lost love, Steve Trevor. Is that his last name?
Yeah, Chris Pine.
Okay. Diana wishes for her long lost lover, Steve Trevor, who she lost back in World War II. Was it World War II or World War
World
One?
War One.
Okay, World
Because
War
I thought it
One
was
in the
World War
first
Two,
movie.
but I looked it up.
In the first movie, and when he comes back, it takes a piece of Diana's abilities. So she's not as strong. It's almost like her abilities have scaled back maybe like 25, 30%.
Well, if you
And
notice
she,
throughout the movie, she gets weaker and weaker and weaker.
yeah, so
Just like
she,
Kirsten Wiig gets stronger and stronger and less human
yeah, so
as
Wonder
she goes
Woman,
through.
like her powers are depleting a little bit here, and like she's getting injured. She's not able to like she gets really tired from battle, and then Max Lord is like he plays like Pedro Pascal plays Max Lord, who's a failed businessman and is like
He's a
really
con
like
artist.
running a con. You know, he's a con artist. He's telling everybody there's oil, and he's drilling for oil and getting all these
Ponzi
investors.
scheme.
But people are onto him now, so he attains the stone, and it turns out he'd been looking for that specific stone for a very long time. So he finally finds it and he gets it and wishes to be the stone.
Which I thought was a cool twist.
I thought that was really, really cool.
I was like,
So
what?
he becomes the stone, and not only can he grant wishes, he touches people and he has them make a wish. And not only can he do that, but he can choose what to take from those people.
Be it wealth, status,
Yes.
respect.
Yeah, he chooses what to take from those people because he is the stone. However, this being the stone is also taking from him. So there was a trade off for him as well as like it is taking his own health. So in order to make himself healthy again, he's got to take from all of these people in the world, and he goes on a
It just keeps
journey
on
to kind of do
more,
that. It's a
more,
snowball
more,
effect.
more.
Yeah.
He just keeps on growing, growing. And I thought Pedro Pascal did an excellent job in this film.
Yeah.
With depicting like who he was and being a very likable villain.
Yeah.
I thought both our villains were extremely likable, and we definitely understood where they were coming from. And I am a fan of gray villains. I'm a fan of people
I am as
who
well.
aren't just evil because they're evil, but
They have motives.
They have motives.
And Max Lord like grew up, you know, in a broken home. He was always made fun of. He had holes in his shoes, and like he has this son, and somebody calls him a loser in front of his son, and he just wants to make his son proud. I mean, this is not the way to do it. He didn't do it right the right way, but we get his motive, and we get Barbara Minerva's motive. You know, they are gray, just like you said, and I think gray is the way to go with any sort of supervillain. Just like Thanos, you know, Thanos, he truly believed in what he was setting out to accomplish. Is he was trying to save everybody by wiping half of everybody out, you know, and it's a lot better that way.
So one cool thing that I realized throughout the movie is in the first movie, Chris Pine takes Diana and he brings her into really the 20th century, and he introduces her to everything, and there's a twist because Chris comes back. Oh, not Chris, Trevor comes back. Comes back, and now
It's Chris Pine,
Diana's
everybody.
introducing him to the 1980s,
Yeah.
this modern world, and he's completely amazed. And I love that, just to see him so excited about everything, and her to be excited to show him everything.
Yeah.
And I thought that was all very, very. I loved their scenes together. I thought
I did
I
too.
think they balanced so well off each other, and I don't know what Wonder Woman's going to be like without him.
Well, I thought he was. I guarantee they bring him back, but they work so well together, and their scenes are so great together that I think that makes up most of the movie for me. The way he comes back is really, really weird, though.
I dig it.
I don't think so because I think it's taking away somebody's ability to consent with any part of their life. So Steve Trevor, when Diana makes the wish, Steve Trevor doesn't just come back. He comes back in somebody else's body who's already living, and so to the outside world, everybody sees the face of this guy, this random guy, and then on screen we see Chris Pine.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why the stone couldn't just make Steve Trevor appear. Like it kept showing the watch, and so I thought Steve Trevor was going to appear like right next to the watch, wearing the watch or something. That's what I thought was going to happen. But no, he appears like in somebody else's body, and it's just weird. Like they could have just made Steve Trevor just appear.
That was an odd part of it, and maybe it's something that could have been I don't know. ironed out a little bit,
Yeah.
but I was willing to like go with the movie as it was happening.
I mean,
It didn't
yeah.
take me away from anything.
It, I
And
don't know. It did some at points. It did take me away from things a little bit because I kept thinking, well, does this guy got to go to work? He's got a family, or what is he doing? Like, is it, he's just MIA for a couple of days, just disappears, and does he have a girlfriend? Like, I don't know.
she shows up. She's like, oh my
He
god.
shows up and this guy's in bed with Diana. So it was a little weird with that, and I didn't think it was needed to do it that way. So I would be curious to know their thought process on that, the filmmaker's thought process for that.
Well, speaking of Trevor, Diana takes him to go visit these new planes because they have to make a visit to Cairo, and he falls in love with this jet. And then we were like,
the
oh my
most
gosh,
beautiful scene.
which one?
Oh, keep going. Yeah, we'll talk about it being beautiful in a second.
Well, I wanted to talk about the invisible jet thing because I'd heard that they were gonna have the invisible jet, and whenever I think of the invisible jet, I think of that image of just Diana sitting down in
I
midair.
thought it was gonna be so dumb because you think of like Mermaid Man and his invisible mermaid man mobile. Diana just sitting. Like she's sitting in a car just hovering over something, but no, it was done really well, and I think they made it really cool looking. And I mean, like Steve Trevor and Diana are flying through these fireworks, and everything's so beautiful, and it's just such a moment between them that just makes me fall in love with Chris Pine. I'm sorry, Gal Gadot, but I'm in love with Chris Pine.
You should be sorry to me.
I'm sorry. Oh, we will be in love with Chris Pine. It is okay if we do it as an us.
But I really like their moments in there, and I like the way that they did the invisible jet, and made it less weird than I thought it was going to be in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have.
Did we already do the characters?
Then we have the death scene, the second death scene
Oh
of
my
Trevor.
gosh,
And this
man!
broke my heart, and the way that they were the script, and the way they were talking to. Oh my god!
I think the dialogue
I was
did
crying.
it for me. And when I watch movies with him, I really have to fight back my tears sometimes. He always lets himself just cry, but I don't like that. I have a really hard time just crying, so I really had to like fight it. But the dialogue in that scene, he's saying things like my life was great. I mean, paraphrased, my life was great because you were in it. And saying
I
things
already
stuff
lived a
like
full
that.
life,
And like, because this is the moment, by the way. So we realized that, and Diana realizes, and Steve realizes it, that she has to renounce her wish because if she doesn't, chaos is just going to continue ensuing. So it kind of goes back to the cheating in the beginning of the movie. So she's cheating death or cheating whatever to have him come back. And that's a shortcut to whatever, but like it's cheating, and
There's always consequences
because he
to cheating.
died, and there's the consequence to that is the world is like imploding basically, and so they come to the two of them come to this realization that Diana has to renounce her wish, and Steve is all about it. He says, "You have to do it, Diana. You have to do it," and she's just breaking down, and I think this is her best performance in either movie. This scene right here, because she gives him this long final kiss and can't bear to see him fade away. She takes off running, and as she's running, he's saying behind her, he's yelling after her, "I'll always love you, Diana." I'm sorry, baby. If you've ever been in love, this is why this hurts so much. You hear him just yelling in the distance, "I'll always love you, Diana," as she's just breaking down, off to save the world, and she finally just screams it, and it's just this pain that she's just shooting through. She's like, "I renounce my wish," and she's just, you have to, if anything, you have to watch the movie for this scene and this performance by Gal Gadot. It is so heartbreaking.
But then we have this other moment that I thought was like huge for the movie and for Wonder Woman's growth overall, is she had talked about on the plane about how flying was Steve's gift. Was it Trevor's?
It was Steve Trevor's unique gift to him, and she always admired that about him and envied that, right?
And it's something she never had, and he was like, "No, it's just wind
And air.
and she just says, "Freak it," and she
flies.
flies.
These scenes are beautiful. They're a little corny. They're beautiful though. It
Yes.
is beautiful imagery, and the Gal Gadot in and the sky is just gorgeous, man. It's gorgeous. I don't know. It's perfect. It's just I hate that they brought Steve Trevor back just to take him away again, and I'm just like, what are y'all doing, man? Ugh, frustrating. But she's off to save the world, and she does. She does.
And then we have the suit, because I feel like we need to talk about the suit. I thought the suit looked great.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I expected more. I expected more movement from it.
The suit was a big deal in the trailer, and it's like in here it's just a shield. I guess it really just works as a shield.
And she was very so in the first movie. The fight scenes are amazing, and I think that when she goes, she fights evil people, and she fights offensively. In this movie, she fights defensively throughout because most people's will has been taken away through these wishes.
So they're doing all this stuff against their will, basically. They're attacking her against their will, and so she can't kill them. But she makes that a point. It's like, we can't hurt them because it's against their will. Can't do that. So she's fighting on the offense, and I've seen a lot of people question her fighting style in this as defensive as well, but I think it works in terms of plot.
Because she didn't even have her sword. Yeah. She only basically used her lasso. So I really liked the fighting scenes. I think that we could have had more, and I think that some of them could have been on a grander scale. But it really hurts because the only other super person wasn't super until the end.
Yeah.
You know? Well, I think that would be the only thing I changed about it.
The cheetah?
Yeah,
I think she was her. They should have just kept her as a human. When she turns into the cheetah, she looks ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I think Kristen Wiig or the cheetah as just the girl dressed kind of punk and Wonder Woman fighting in the White House. That was like perfect. They could have kept that kind of.
Yeah, but it's not comic book accurate. But I mean,
I guess whatever.
Then again, the origin of Cheetah.
Yeah.
And this wasn't comic book accurate either, so I guess a little bit more flexibility maybe wouldn't have hurt. But I understood where they're coming from. But I think that's the only. I really did like the fight scenes. I love slow mo Diana.
I think
I love slow mo Diana.
The ones that were there were good. I think those are they're worth it. The watch, but there should have been more with the runtime that there was.
Yeah,
there should be a lot more fight scenes. You have that iconic moment from the No Man's Land.
Just don't take our Chris scenes away.
In the first one, and we just don't really have that here. So a little bit more fight scenes, if that, because I heard, the next one's been greenlit already, so just go into it with, the notes from this one, like much more fight scenes, lessen that runtime a little bit, and we're good to go. Steve Trevor permanently, or not at all, please.
Yeah, because
I can't do it anymore. Don't do this.
Don't play with our heart. Well, the issue is always he's gonna age also, and she's not really.
Who cares? Goodness. Find a vampire.
Okay. Okay, and the last thing before we peace out is the end credits. Yeah. I thought that was pretty amazing to see the original Wonder Woman in the end credits, and I hope that kind of ties into Wonder Woman 3. I hope they. Bring her into Wonder Woman 3, because I don't know what Wonder Woman 3 is going to be about.
Yeah.
But I am excited for it, and I'm hoping that this backlash doesn't hurt Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't. I think definitely, guys, if you're looking for some sort of escape, this is the movie for you. I think it's just a good movie to cap off 2020. It's a nice, good watch. Go get you some pizza, some snacks, just sit down, watch it, and quit bitching about it. You're either gonna like it or you're not. I'm sorry. You're either gonna like it or you're not, and if you don't, then move on. Don't give it too much energy.
Just say, hey,
yeah,
I just don't like this.
I understand constructive criticism, but just bashing something just for the sake of bashing it is, I don't know.
Yeah, because people were saying Patty Jenkins don't touch Star Wars. And I'm like, what? Yeah. It's like, she's done so well. Like, I don't know.
It's like all of the work and the achievements from the first movie and are just erased now that she's made a less than stellar movie.
Which I think was still stellar. In my opinion,
I still
is
enjoyed
still
it.
stellar.
I still enjoyed it. I
But
love a good romance, and this is what that felt like for me.
well, I think it's also a
So
little harder for female directors, especially with such big blockbuster films. Is
yeah.
whenever they make a mistake, you know, it's just
Well, it's
it's la di da
it's such a
you know.
huge property too that there are a lot of eyes on her for this. So
Yeah, but then you have Christopher Nolan who makes like Tenet, and
yeah.
he's fine. He's still gonna have a long you
Yeah.
know career after that. So I don't know. Anyways, watch it. Let us know if you watched it, what your opinions are. Do you vehemently disagree with us?
Do you absolutely hate it to the fiber of your being that you're going to think about it all through 2021? Or was it not for you and you're just going to, go watch something else? Let
Well,
us know.
and then as always, please like, subscribe, ding this bell, and do you want to say anything?
If anybody wants us to do any more of these, just what movies? What movies? Leave some suggestions down below as well.
And then if you want to hear about more horror movies, Zachary is doing My Bloody Judy episodes, and I'll
Little
link those in the
podcast.
description box below.
Yes.
Wait, did you already put it out?
And I like you a
He
lot.
will be doing Freaky
I
soon.
think you're
It was very
freaky.
good.
I like you a lot. All right, guys. Have a great night, and
We'll catch you next time. Adios, gentle viewers. Bye.